And testing mic. Good morning. Hi, Helena. Do you have balls, Helena? Do you have one of these? A couple of these? Dory, Marlene, have the playing with balls that we use? I don't like saying, do you have balls? I know y'all do. But let's get these kind. Oh, I have a big, big spider on my mat. I think I will make her go away. Why don't you go over there? There we go. All right. We're still waiting. But if you're just coming in and you have the massage balls that we play with, if you have one, it's fine. Having two is good. If you don't have a massage ball, you can take one or two pairs of socks and just ball them up. Just ball them up into a knot. If you don't have socks around, maybe you have a cloth napkin that you can make into a little bit of a ball.
One tennis ball?
One tennis ball's fine. Iqbal, I thought you had one of these.
No, I hunted and I got frustrated. I walked up and down Walmart and I couldn't find one.
Oh, no, I'm afraid you're gonna have to break down and go to Amazon.
Okay.
.com. I remember what I called them. The brand is Relaxus.
Okay.
Yeah. They're really good, you know, especially there are a lot of people in this class that are over 60, and you know how feet go. We're in shoes way too often. Summer isn't long enough to keep our feet delightful and flexible. So as we age a little bit, sometimes the peripheral body, the hands and the feet, can get a little stiff and less sensitive. And then of course we get perhaps the deviating of the big toe, all of these kinds of things. So I don't do it as often as I should, but using these balls is very useful. So if you're still going around finding one, that's fine. Of course, if you're under 60, now is the time to pay attention to your feet. While we're waiting to see if anybody has them, if everybody has them, how about you just take your feet in your hands? I was watching your video, Helena, and it reminded me, yeah, we need to do more about feet. So Helena demonstrated in a chair. And if you have any issues, you know, with this falling back here in the back, just grab a chair and let's take the feet. I won't use a chair because I'm going to come right up to the camera and show you foot. And then you just play with it a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking my thumb onto the big toe ball, basically right between the first two toes there, and then my low hand on the outer. And I use my fingers to kind of massage and knead into this toe ball and allow your foot to move a little bit. Allow your ankle to move a little bit. Please don't do these ankle turning, spinning things. Take it slow. You got a lot of bones and joints in there. Touch in, and then this is not hurting. Sometimes the standing on the ball will be a little tender. This doesn't really hurt. You come through, maybe it does, little subtle little energy points and things in there, and get all the way to your heel. And then when you're at your heel, take your hand on the outer heel and then on the inner heel, and just knead in there a little bit. Move your fingers around and knead in there just a little bit. I want to show you something about your foot that I'd like for you to feel. You don't have one heel bone that goes all the way up here. This is not your heel bone. Your heel bone is way down here. So you're going to have to, and this is your ankle bone up here. And your ankle bone goes all the way through the front and all the way through to the back. So what I'd like you to do is take a hold of your heel and just roll it around a little bit. Many of you should go get a chair because I had no idea this was going to take so long. You can sit on a chair, get close to the screen. Otherwise, you might be over rounding your back. All right. And gently tug. So I've got my fingers there and I tug just a little bit to encourage the space there between the heel bone and the talus. Extend out with the heel, flex your foot, and go forward with the toe ball up and over the heel. That's enough. Let's go to the other foot. You guys don't get to see my leg tattoo very often. There it is. And then same thing here, thumb, not that you would care to see my leg tattoo. And then hold the foot. And you do a little massage on the top of the foot here, because this area is quite sensitive, right? All right, and then turn the foot, big toe down and big toe up. Big toe down and big toe up. This is a healthy rotation here in your ankle, whereas a circle actually isn't the healthiest of movements, but big toe up, big toe down. That moves through the whole foot. All right, and then with your hands there, massaging. Do, do, do. Bum, ba-dum. I have these tender spots in the inner foot here. I actually have a bruise there. I think I stepped on a rock. Coming back this way and through. And then noting that the heel is here. The ankle bone is here. Right between the two, there's a joint, and you can draw your heel back and then extend out through the heel. So not down, you're not going away like straight into the earth or something. You're going out and around. And then touch in there, feel there may be little sensitive points. And let's come back up to the toes and just give them a little crazy love. All right. And now we're going to come around to standing, and we'll use the balls. So you've either balled up a sock, or you have, I'll say one. I use two because it's faster. But most of you will only have one. So come on back, just bring your ball with you, and you'll be here, and you turn your toes under and then push back to almost sit on them. And then rock forward and roll your toes back to the floor. Elongate, so many of you won't have your ankle on the floor, which is fine. Then reach away with your toes, away with your toes, away with your toes, away with your toes, and then sweep them back up. So watch, I'm rubbing on the ground with the tops of my feet to get my toes on the floor. Now here's where the arthritis in my feet kicks in. Not long ago, I should have paid attention earlier. Not long ago, the ball of my foot would go to the floor and my toes would be flat on the floor, right? So some of you could be there. It's like this, only it was way up there, further. Just shows I could probably get it again if I wanted to, which I do. All right, and then rock forward, go over the tops of the feet, push them into the ground. Now, do you get cramps doing this? That's a possibility. You might get cramps, just means you need it more. All right, and let's draw the toes forward, and I'm pushing them on the ground, and then I get the toe balls there, the toes, and I push back to take my hips to my heels. Now, you know what's interesting, and this may apply to you. I have assumed that this is an absolute limit for me. And yet in showing it to you, wanting to show you what used to be, I actually went much further. Now, the reason I'm sharing that is not about me. I'm sharing that because I promise you, many of you get to a place and say, oh, that's it for me. Well, you know what? It doesn't feel much different when I go back and I give it a little push. It really doesn't. I can't call it pain. I call that, releasing. All right, now come over it, extend the tops of your feet again, and then sit back towards your ankles. So, you know, and many of you, you know, you need a blanket handy so you can get down there or whatever. That's fine. If you're on the chair, you're doing this, just extending your legs out and flexing. You know, you can secretly do this stuff while you're on your computer. The devil, our computers. All right, now come forward, extend your arms, downward dog. So after all that sensitizing, what are you going to do in your legs? Let's do them. Oh, is someone not, someone needs to mute. It doesn't disturb me, but I know that it disturbs other participants. So Please check and make sure that you are muted. It doesn't switch my screen, you know, but it can switch other people's. All right, now come over them. We're going to downward dog. So come over them, flex, 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 flex. And then push back a little. Yeah, I have a lot more range and I have a lot more comfort. You too can have more range and more comfort. All right, now they are turned under. Let's take it into downward dog. We're just going to come up to standing. So take this downward dog, look back at your feet and spread your toes. Now listen, spread your toes by widening the toe ball and then lay your toes out wide, okay? Now bend your knees a lot, bend them a lot. Look at where your heels are. Look at the direction that your shins are going, your tibias, all right? Now, drive the tibias down toward the back of your heel. So you're not pushing your heels down. Excuse me, that will not help you. Instead, drive your tibias back toward the heels and reach your heels back, not down, back. Downward dog. Ujjayi breathing. Excuse me. Good. Now walk your feet on up to your hands. So you're in Uttanasana there, right? A little Uttanasana situation. Now bend your knees a lot. Bend them a lot. Spread your toes out again. That's it. Wave them around a little bit. Bend your knees and descend your heels down again and back, not down. Forget down. Take your heels back behind your heels. All right. Now, hands come to your legs and come about halfway up and stay there. So it's not about getting halfway up, but it is about lengthening as you're here. Please lengthen your spine as you are there. Lengthen a lot and breathe. All right, now keep your hands on your thighs to come up slowly, up to standing. But as you're coming to standing, reach your tail away, reach it away, reach it away. Roll your ischial tuberosities, your buttock bones toward forward, reach your tail away, reach out through the head and come up so that by the time you have arrived in Tadasana, you actually feel pretty long in the vertebral column. All right, now get your ball. And I'm going to say there's no need to feel unbalanced in this because we have chairs. Feel free to take a chair there, anywhere, right in front of you or on your side, whatever, and choose one of your feet and take your ball or your balled up sock, right? Either one is so fine. Balled up sock, balled up napkin, I don't know, anything, you know, a little stuffed toy that's lying around. And just go through it, feeling it. Now, the idea is not to push in so hard that you say, oh, I don't know, whatever. You can get little sharp points of pain. That's from, you know, the reflex points, but don't push hard on them. Just scoot them just like, oh, there you are. Whoa, what are you doing there? Kind of thing. Don't push hard. It will only resist. Give it a little love. And the pokey points on my ball do go into those reflex points, and I kind of like that, but I don't push too hard. I really don't. I'm wanting to wake up my feet to keep the mobility in those. I think it's either 32 or 36 joints in your feet. It's an awful lot of joints. And the surface that you're massaging is this very thick fascial pad. Plantar, you've heard the term, oh, I have plantar fasciitis. That hurts. That's when your foot gets such a problem from something that this fascia down here becomes painful. What a drag that is. Right? It really interrupts a lot of stuff. Some of you may have this. So you need to be gentle, you see, that's what I'm saying. You don't want to push hard on fascia. You want fascia to have a little love, little touch. Grab your toes. You feel? Go around the edge into your arch. Now in the softer parts, push more softly. The arch of your foot really doesn't want a lot of hard push. All right, and just another, I don't know, 20 seconds or so to feel what you're doing. There's no right or wrong way. You'll guide it. All right, and then we'll change feet. I'm going to change hands on chair just for good measure. I do so much with my right all the time. I'm trying to do a little more with my left. All right, and here we go again. Wait, take that foot off of the ball. And before we go to that foot, stand on your two legs and see if you feel a difference on the two sides. Embryologically, we grow from the ends of our limbs. We don't grow from, well, we do, we grow from up there, but it's the ends of your limbs that are growing. So your hands and your feet are growing out first. And then the rest of you is being drawn into the space created. Pretty fascinating. So the thought is that our feet remain super expressive in our growth, right? They've got that energy of reaching out, and we have choice about keeping more of that if we like. And all you have to do is start to wake them up again and then see what you feel. This is not a believe matter. It's what do you feel? I was just curious and remain curious enough to try. I never, ever believed anything when it came to yoga. In fact, my first venture into yoga was because it did not require my belief. It's based on practice and receiving from for yourself, perceiving and receiving. So roll over it, enjoy. The needs of the 2 feet might be, well, they will be different. So you need to listen and feel. It helps your sensitivity to actually go there and say, I'm going to pay attention to this feeling. And then for some of us, I'm going to pay attention to this feeling without needing to hurt myself in order to notice. Touch love. roll. Maybe curl your toes around the ball like a kneading kitty cat. And then maybe roll over it and extend your toes, wave them out. All kinds of things you can do. Going gently through the arches. You have an inner arch of your foot. You have an outer arch of your foot. And you have a front transverse arch. And you have a back transverse arch. In other words, you have basically a scooped dome. And the muscles are, the bones and the ligaments and the fascia and all of that are just perfectly designed to hold that arch that is free. Some people have more flat foot, some people have more high arch. That isn't really the problem or the question. Just play with it, what you have. Another 20 seconds or so, and you're done. Good. And we'll release it. And you'll stand. All right. Take the chair out of your way for a moment if you used it. I always call this the Eric Love thing. So you bend your knees and you just this. You're letting your arms just flap. Please let your legs, your feet, your hips, let all of it go. You're not trying to swing around your waist or something. Your gaze will go behind you. Maybe if you want, you can coordinate some breath with it, but it's not necessary. Do you have a side that feels easier? Like it just is unrestricted, and a rotation that's a little weird. That feels a little like I got caught there. I had that. Couple more each side. And then just slowing it down until you find your way back to what we might call stillness, but still has the vitality that we generated from those simple movements, and certainly the sensation of your feet. All right, hand goes on to either pelvic half and the opposite arm, big reach out and up. And as you get here, feel this wonderful, deep, thick length of the up arm side body. And let's begin to use the breath here as a tool. The density of our body relates to the inhale. That's our biggest expression, all the way to the limits of our bone and water and fire, right? Now let's go up, inhale. Exhaling, arcing over. Inhaling, go big down through the long side body. And exhale, soften. Maybe you soften over the compressing side. Maybe soften through the center. Inhale, big reach again. So it's an inner reach. Pelvic floor rising. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. All of this. Inhaling, reach up. And as you're exhaling, releasing, softening downward. Now, stand again. and feel what you feel. Did that work in the upper body give more density down through the lower as well? Maybe. All right, here we go. Yield down as you're inhaling, big reach up again, and taking your awareness into this dense, the lower, hot, warm, liquidy, muddy earth, water, fire of you as you're inhaling. Because that's the coming into creation, is the inhale, from the subtle to the dense. Exhale is right back into the subtle. Here we go. You come up, inhale. Big, full, rich human expression. Exhale, easing back into, whatever it is, wherever you go toward comfort. Inhaling expression, dense, liquidy, human. Exhale, core. That's up to you. I mean, that's the way I play with the elements and the structures. The density of the earth, water, fire is the low three chakras, and the levity of the air, space, consciousness is the upper chakras, if you like chakras. And then yield down, support, inhale, you rise up, and exhale, release. All right, now step your legs out nice and wide. We're just going to wake up the power of the legs from the feet in the goddess situation. I recommend you don't try to step too far. This is an actual perfect position for my body, but you might be here. You know, it's not designed to be a strain. It's designed to create a connection. So here, your ischial tuberosities, you can see, I wore pretty dark clothing this morning, but you can see that my ischial tuberosities, the bottoms of my pelvic bones, you can see very clearly that they're not going back. They're not going back, but they are going right down. Why? Because they feel their earth. These bones are earth, water, fire intensively. They're gnarly knobs. They flow down to the earth right under them. And then activate your feet by kitty cat kneading. So you don't need to do a specific thing. You just spread your toes out, gonna get the ground and pulse up and feel a little pulsing action through the inner arches of your feet to start. As that becomes quite clear, you can go to the outer arches, the front arch and the back arch, until you begin to feel this power of the jellyfish shape of your bones. Now, arms, as you're inhaling, spin your forearms. So do this with me. Spin them and reach them. And as you're exhaling, spin them back. And then, see, there's a little bit of an in. I don't just go out. Very different movement. If I come from here and I go a little bit in, then I can go out. And then I can come in. And then I can go out. All right. Jnana Mudra, pointing finger and thumb. And you don't need to stay still. You can play with this. Little mobility, lot of stability, open core, soft face, soft heart, don't harden through the chest. It's a lot of work, right? It's not going to hurt you. This is strong. You need the deep, dark ujjayi. If you need to straighten your legs, just do, but stay in the same inquiry here, you know? All right, here we go. Push into the earth. As you're inhaling, the arms reach up and you rise all the way up, even peek up. Feel the light of your fingers, the dense connectivity of your legs, and down you go, front Anjali. Now, don't just go, oh, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Tadasana. All right, now yielding deeply down through either one of your legs. The opposite leg comes up, and as it comes up, listen to me. First of all, wherever you can see me the best. First of all, you go down. Now this one starts from the foot. So it's that same kind of pulse. It always starts from the foot, actually. Okay, not always. Take it up. Now it may start from the foot, but it's going through the whole body. Down and up. When it comes back down, and on it. And then the other side, up and up. And again. All right, and then Vrikshasana, go down, come up spinning. You don't need to go far. This is perfect. This is a beautiful posture with just on your ankle. Don't worry. If you like, bring it high. It's also a beautiful posture. Feel free. Do it the way you feel right now. Keep breathing. All right, here we go. Releasing down. And from a feel sensitive foot, thread it into the earth. Find the ground. Fall in love with the ground. Feel. And then pulse. And then the other leg is rising. Just where you want it to be this time. Anywhere. And reach up. All right. And then exhaling. Thread down, go from your foot, thread it down, touch the ground, feel what you're doing, yield it into the earth, kitty cat kneading, and then push down, straighten legs, Tadasana. All right, let's take Surya with the chair. We'll break it down a little bit. It's not just a straight Surya. Nice and easy. Hands together. Now you've got stuff you can play with if you like. You've got stuff, you shift your weight. Let me just say something. Shifting weight tends to be side to side. Please listen to this. You're not shifting weight side to side. Just give that up. You don't shift. You're not shifting. You release your weight down through one. Do it with me, please. Do shifting. Shifting to take a leg up. You're off your center. And then shift to take a leg up. You're off your center. Now, stand even and take your weight down through one as the other comes up. It's not a shift, it's a down. Go down through one, the other one comes up. You see what I'm saying? So when we step back into some sort of a sun salutation, it's the same thing. You want to be shifting your weight around. Got it? Here we go. Rest your forehead, which is the Ajna chakra. Rest your heart, which is in some part held in your hands. Rest your low belly and pelvic floor. Don't push down on it. Its resting state is called tone. Going nowhere, doing nothing. And exhale, release your arms. And inhale, reach out and up. Stay here. Now just lightly bend your knees and yield through your two legs into the earth, the density. Feel that? Now light at the back of your, at the bottom of your spine, your coccyx, light, pulse a little space around it. It's a movement. You pulse a little space around it. You can do it. And now here we go. Inhale. As you're exhaling, up, out, and over to bring your hands to whatever you're using, a chair, blocks, or the floor. Now inhale, reach away with that light coccyx and stay here. You feel the length in the vertebral column from the coccyx. All right, now yield deep through the left, your right comes up. And then shoot it back behind you. The ball of the foot is on the floor. The heel reaches back. Come down just enough. Don't let your knee pass your ankle. So you may be here, perfectly fine, right? Or you may be here. Couple breaths, one breath. Yeah, it's a little strong. We're, we need the strength as well as everything else. So the strength is not just the muscles, although, yeah, you'll feel the muscles working. All right, now take your weight down on the chair, push into it, and step back, plank. Plank is strong. You can go over your toes again if you like. Now from here, yield, push down and away, and take your light, bright coccyx tail way, way, way back, downward facing dog. So again, even if you're in a short stance here, you can do just like this. You see this? You can do that. All right, or you can have your legs back further. All right, now you're going to step your right foot up. So use all the supports into the earth you can. The density, the heavy of you is down through 3 limbs. And then your right comes up and you step it and you yield down and you feel, yeah, I need a little bit of strong. The soft pads of the feet on and in the earth, that back heel, right? If you're gonna take the heel back at all, take it back. Take it back, not down. It goes right straight back. Couple breaths. Ujjayi. And now you're going to push off with the back. It's not a shift of the weight, it's a push down into the front, and it's light of the back, and you step forward. Wave out, inhale. Pour down, exhale. And inhale, rise up, reaching, coccyx light, legs, pelvic calves, feet, nice and deep. And down the front, Anjali Mudra. I don't want to step on my spider friend. I'm going to send it away again. Go, go. Okay, there you go. Oh, well, hopeless. She's with me. Here we go. And release arms down, exhale. As you're inhaling, reach out and up. And exhale, up, out, and forward. Place your hands. You're going to step your left back. Go deep in the right, curl the left up and inhale. Exhale, shoot it back. A little faster this time. Couple breaths. Now getting to plank can be tricky here, right? So rock your weight forward a little bit, and then you'll be push into your chair. Then you're ready to step and you're in plank. Breathing fully. Good, and then all the way back and into downward facing dog. Enjoy downward dog. It's a washing clean posture. And here in this class specifically, as you know, I really want to be sure that you're not rounding your lower back or your upper back up when you're in downward dog. So you want to be sure that you're reaching away with your free coccyx. Keep that really light. So the reach away of the coccyx is elongating your vertebral column. We don't always reach through the head, you know. We reach away with the coccyx to lengthen the spine. Now come up a little bit, push off and step left. Inhale. Exhaling, yielding down, deep breathing. And then to step forward, you're going to have to get weight forward and push from the light of the back leg to step to Uttanasana. Wave out, inhale, and pour down, exhale. Rise up, inhaling, and down the front, Anjali Mudra. All right, let's step around wide, and you're going to have your strap for Prasarita Padottanasana. So step your legs out nice and wide and take your strap behind you. And don't keep your strap in a loop. Don't keep your strap in a loop at home. So you don't want it looped, right? You have a nice, clean, open strap, and you put the two ends together, like folding a sheet, and then fold the other way. All right. And then you have a nice, clean strap, as I say, to hold like this. And in this case, take the strap behind you. Articulate your legs. And so the outer feet in this one are more or less parallel with the long edges of your mat. Remember in the goddess posture, they're in the wide, toes turned out. And this is more parallel to one another, okay? And then slide your strap down. And as you do not push forward with your lower back. Take your ischial tuberosities and plant them down. That's first. You've got your feet through your legs and the ischial tuberosities planting down. With the ischials planting down, you're going to feel more space in the front of your pelvis. Space is a place you can bring sensitivity to. If we have a lot of clumping going on, it's very difficult to bring sensitivity. So we make space and then we look into the area where we have an invitation into the space. So in this case, it's these front low groin area organs. Now, as you slide your strap down behind you, actually lift up a little bit through the very, very top portion of your sternum. It's its own bone. It's the manubrium. Lift it up, but don't fling your chest out. Just lift the manubrium. Here we go. Inhale big. And as you're exhaling, you're coming up out and over, of course, and beginning to release your arms up towards ceiling or even all the way overhead. Your choice. Nice. Don't over round your back. You got to be a sleuth for yourself in this now when we're not together. You got to really feel, am I pushing my upper back up? Up. Don't do it. Roll the manubrium out and forward. Your head will come up a little bit. That means you found it. And then stay there. Don't let your upper back or your lower back excessively round. You got another couple breaths here. Don't overstretch. Find the strong of your back legs as well. The part that is so-called stretching. It's also working, right? All right, now yield down deeply again and swing your ischial tuberosities forward as you begin to come halfway up. Slide your strap way back behind you. My lower arms are on my outer hips here. And then reach away, light of tail, as you're inhaling the rest of the way up. And take your strap around the front, keep holding it, but heel toe together, and you're standing. All right. Holding the strap, we're going to step into Veerabhadrasana 1. So here we go. I won't step wide. You don't need to step wide, but I'm actually not using the chair. I want you to see something, and that is how even this activity in the upper body is really going to help your balance. Okay, so yielding down deeply and staying with that strap out here. I'm pulling it apart. Now go down, down, down through your right and lift your leg up. You don't even have to take the toe off the floor if you don't want to. Push on the strap. Now lean forward a little bit. Go down more, and then when you feel like you can do it, slide that back leg back, and then spin the heel toward the center of your mat, yield, push into earth, and come up. So you don't have to be very far. You see, I've got a very moderate Veerabhadrasana 1 going on. And then slide your hands upward. For everyone in this class, don't look up. Slide your arms and feel this power in the low body. Go back to your feet. Feel the articulation of your feet. And when you articulate the feet, you can feel, oh, stuff flows up. What is stuff? Something flows up. If you feel anything, it's prana. Anything you feel is prana, all of it. It's all prana. If you can sensorily experience it, it's prana. Those are the rules. Now, bring your arms down. Bend your front knee more. Lean forward on it. Pour your weight into it and spin the back heel off the floor, push off, step forward. So what I'm hoping that you're finding is that this idea of pouring down and receiving back up is a connection that doesn't feel like I have to do balance, you know? Let's do the other side. So here we go. You're yielding down. Okay, they're both, maybe not evenly. They're not going to be even. But you can make these little adjustments to increase the yielding on one side or the other, okay? So here we go. It's a yielding deep, deep, deep in the left, and this activity up here. So when you do your strap, feel the tone in the pit of the belly, okay? Not your lower abdomen pushing in, but coming from the center of the pelvic floor up and into the pit of the belly. You guys can do this, I promise you. Do it. Good. Yield way down through the left. So the gnarly roots of left are going way into the earth. And then my right can come up without too much difficulty. Push with the arm, step the leg, spin the heel toward the center of your mat. Push into the earth and rise up. The levity of the upper, the density of the upper, the super density of the lower, the articulation and the levity in the spaces, the bones of your feet, right? When we work with chakras, when we work with elements, we will often divide them into portions of the body, but that's just to differentiate the element. In reality, every cell has every element. So we differentiate in our practice so that we can hone in and find unification. Differentiation underlies unity in experience. All right, how are you going to get forward? Lean that weight back forward onto the front foot. Keep strong with your strap. Wherever you place the strap is fine. And then spin and step. Oh. All right, we're going to take a twisting posture in one more simple surya. Just a twisting lunge, nice and easy. Here we go. Use your chair. Please use the chair if you have one. A block will work. Inhale. Exhale, yield arms down, deep in the earth. Inhale, big rise. And exhale, forward. Bend knees a lot. Inhale and exhale, right leg back. Now, if you've got a chair, this is not going to be too challenging at all. If you don't have a chair, you might want to drop your knee to the ground to feel this. We're going to turn to the left. So I'm going to take my hand or arm on the chair and spin leftward. Just that. So you can see I'm up pretty high and I've got really long curves in my spine. I'm not flexed at all. I'm rolling open here. A few breaths with hands on thigh, left hand on thigh, and then only if you like, take your left hand to your sternum and start to roll open through that top chest area. You just nurture it open a little bit, articulating the bones, and then maybe you use the lung, but the bones will be enough right now, don't worry. And now if arm up is not good, you can take your arm with your elbow bent. This will usually be comfortable and will also give a nice range to your expression. It'll come through your chest more. All right, inhale, support. And as you support, rise up a little bit out of your hip joints to bring both hands to the chair and step back. We'll just go straight to downward dog, all the way back, downward facing dog. And yielding, finding the ground with the left foot, not shifting, but descending weight, left side, right leg becomes light, push off, step forward, yield down just a little bit. Feet up through the legs, pelvic floor, alive, pulsing. Don't worry about which way it's going. Don't worry about that. Just let it pulse with your breath, however it does. And then left hand or arm to the chair, right hand to thigh. Keep spine long, 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 and turn. So that right hand on your thigh can press down a little bit into the thigh and into the earth, right? So that helps you turn. And then you can bring your fingers to the sternum, roll open a little bit, and maybe you roll open a little more, and then maybe a little more, and maybe your arm comes up. Keep breathing. And here we go. Bring it back around and to the front. Feel what you got to do. You got to get weight forward, right? So you yield down with that, lighter in the back, and you push off and step. Wave out and pour down. Rise up and Anjali Mudra. I was planning to do one more standing posture, but I realized that your feet might be getting tired, and I don't want you to feel sore in your feet. So let's come down. Let's do belly down. And if you have a blanket around, you know, this is the fold I've been using for belly down back bends. If I have it like this, I'm going to fold it once and then take this firm edge, not the feathery edge. I'm going to take that down and place it on the pit of my belly. So it'll be like this when I get down there. Okay, so there it is on the floor. And you'll be able to see me better if I take that. And I'll back up a little bit. All right, so from here, elongate your torso out and pita belly. Pita belly's on the blanket and the pubic disc is off, and the upper pelvic bones can be on. But you push back on the bolster, catch your belly on it, catch your belly, and then take your forearms under you and push back. So your feet will actually slide back as your bolster didn't move on your skin, but rather it pushed up into your low belly, right? So you feel that support in there, and you're in Sphinx. Sphinx can be low. You want it to be what's comfortable for you right now. Okay, comfortable. Sphinx is a really, really good back bend. Very good basic back bend to just have to say, you know, on a long day, like gardening is coming. You know, first you lie down on your back after gardening to let your back, just on the floor, please, on your back. And then when on your back feels good, and you got that, you could do a twist down there or roll over and come into Sphinx. We're holding this, and we're holding it so that you can attend to what support feels like coming into the lower belly. Here you're getting the blanket to do it for you. What would you do to do it? Well, here's what I would do. What I would do is I would lightly lift the pelvic floor as I'm inhaling, and I would draw the breath up into the front of my lumbar spine, right in there, in behind the pelvic belly and up. That's what I would do. You can let it soften back down a little bit with an exhale. So the inhale is up from the tail of the sacrum all the way up through the lumbar. And the exhale is just keep the support and release. Wave it up using an Ujjayi breath. All right, now you're going to release this and you're going to just come down and lying on your blanket. So continue to pull yourself out long and then rest. Your back belly, your whole lumbar region is right on your bolster or your folded blanket rather. So now with belly completely relaxed, you're not toning anything. Belly completely relaxed. Allow the pressure of the breath to seep up through your back abdomen. What that means is when your belly moves into the ground, the movement of the breath comes into your back. You feel that? All right, guys, you're going to come out of this. So come up with your hands under you, lift up, use your tone, your core, and come all the way back into your child's posture. You grab a prop or whatever you need, come all the way back into your child's posture. Your blanket can still be there and your arms extended out over your blanket. Now you have the opportunity to feel a lot of length through your spine. For some of you, you may be better off if you take your knees a little bit wide so that your spine can drop down more in this posture. Breathe into your back. All right, come on up and we will come to a seated position. So have a blanket or two upon which to sit and sit. Extend your legs straight out. No, let's not. Let's keep the legs crossed. So I gotta get you a little closer to me. Keep your legs crossed and you're gonna need to have a few props. Can you have a few props? So perhaps 2 blocks, perhaps more blankets. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to show with 2 blocks, but any kind of prop can help this. All right, so first I'll take one leg in front of me and cross it. And I've got a wide angle here. I'm going to create a triangle between my legs. And then this other leg is going to come out like so. So you see what I've done? It's not a big cross-legged thing. It's called Sukhasana. So it's designed to be comfortable. Now, it may not be. First of all, you might need to be higher on your bolsters so that your lumbar spine can stay into the body, all of that, no slouching back. That's terrible for your spine. All right. So you want to sit up high. And then let's say, okay, what, Patty, it doesn't look like you. I'm like this. Then just take some, and in any case, take some blocks and place them under your thighs so that, or under your knees, under thighs or knees, so that you can sit here. All right. So I'm going to take them. You could also have them down here, touching, or perhaps you have them, your knees are low and they don't hurt. If they feel quite comfortable here and there's no pinching in the hips, this is great. All right, so hands on thighs. You've got one leg in front and the other leg is behind. Keep breathing. We're going to turn toward the front leg. Whichever leg is in front, that's where you're turning. Don't try to go far. Yield into the ground. As you're inhaling, coccyx free and up through the head. Now listen, the yielding down is the same here, even though you're not standing. You're coming into relationship with the earth, and in this case, it's through the bottoms of your pelvic bones, the ischial tuberosities. So keep that as a yield, and then as you inhale, come up through the crown, coccyx goes down, and as you're exhaling, just spin. Now imagine, notice, and feel that you're not spinning from your vertebral column in the back, but you're spinning from the tube of your inner body that is in front of the vertebral column. It's if you could actually spin without using any muscle at all. Yeah, of course you're using muscle, but you're spinning from the tissues in the center, initiating from there in a way that you think, well, that can't actually initiate. That's not a muscle. Don't worry about it. Take your sensitivity there and turn. You may or may not get as far as you think you would like. And then keep turning up through the neck and the head in the same way. You stay out of the bone and into the soft. Breathing. Two more breaths. Remember, it's important not to be at your absolute maximum range because your body will restrict you there. Get right behind it and breathe. That's how you get more range. You get out of it and you breathe. Next day, it might be a little more and you didn't do a thing. Inhale, come around. Feel the remnant of the twist remain. Your body wants to go. Right. Come around. And then let's change. So the other leg comes in front and you're in Sukhasana. And it might be different. You might need a block or two under your knees to be comfortable. Feel the down. Be sure you're not overarching your lumbar back to bring the spine forward or back. Be right on it, right on the ischials. Inhale, up through the core, space. Exhale, it's the slinky. You turn through the slinky. The sides will be different. Let that be so. Your job is to notice it, not to change it. If your body wants to change it, it will, as long as you don't push on it. Did you lose your ground? Go back down there and see. Are you gripping in your legs or your hips, trying as if you want to get up out of the earth? Yield down into Mother Earth. Take that support. And then be the water, the warmth, the air, the space, and the clarity. the clarity of the intelligence that penetrates all the way through you. Not your brain, not your thinking, that's only part of it, all the way through you. The intelligence of your cells, the intelligence that created your cells. Access to the field of who you are and what you actually embody. Two more breaths. All right, as you're inhaling, roll back around the same tube. So it's not just okay, release. Roll back around the same tube. Awful lot of paying attention, isn't there? It's training. It's meditation. All right, let's release the legs out. So go ahead and do so. And flex your feet. Spread your toesies. Extend out through your heels as you draw your toes back and spread them. Yes, and let's come down to reclining here. So if you need a blanket for your head, anything you want for Shavasana, grab it now. And then as you're ready, we will slowly roll downward. Slowly down. Here we go. Forearms. So I start with my forearms, and the reason is that it's easier. That's the true reason. I'm not in love with this thing. Oh. But what I can do here is I can actually tone the muscles without having to grip in them, right? So that's why I've taken to doing this on my forearms rather than, you can do it any way you like, right? You might have a lot stronger muscle than me, and rolling down might feel terrific. Okay, so the sacrum is caught, and you can see how I can move. My sacrum isn't moving, but I'm dangling my spine out long. And then as I do that, how's my tail? Oh yeah, it's free. Pelvic floor? Oh yeah, all good. And then elongating, because my sacrum's caught, and I'm bringing it out long because for me it's good. I'm gonna try to like get every vertebra on the ground as I go. But some of you are going to want to not push your low back to the floor. I would say if you can get your low back to the floor, don't do it. And if you can't get your lumbar spine to the floor, try. All right. And then come out, and it's the low ribs. And oh, it's the thoracic spine and the mid ribs and the top ribs. All right. Oh, good. Now draw your right knee into your chest. Inhale. As you're exhaling, slide left leg out. Inhale again, spread toes. Exhale, curl up around right leg. You're going to take a twist from here. So inhale and lie back, and then take your outer hand, so it's your left hand, and open your right arm. Bend your left leg. So don't try to stay straight in that underside leg. Bend the left leg and roll onto the outside of the left hand, the outside of the left leg, as you reach away with your coccyx to lengthen your vertebral column, your spine, and then keep rolling open through the up body. Soft mouth, soft face. If you like, please do roll your the gaze of your eyes up and around to the right. Don't push or force. Enjoy this.
mostly about the elongating and the spinning of the body, elongating vertebral column, spinning vertebral column, spiraling through the organs, all the way up through the big lungs, of course, and the muscles and the fascia of your top right chest. That's the place where you might have a tendency to be pulling on it and trying to get somewhere. Absolutely don't. Keep it at a comfortable place and let it breathe. Comfortable doesn't mean you don't feel a pull. Of course you feel a little pull. But the pull itself breathes. It's not a hard, tight pull. It's a weaving and releasing. All right, and gather it all back in. Inhale, all the way back up. Constructive rest. Re-lengthen your vertebral column so that you feel long and neutral again. Draw both knees into your chest. Inhale, and as you're exhaling, curling up, extending right leg out. All right, lay it back. Inhale, bend the right leg. Right hand holds the leg, the top leg. Inhale, and you roll on the outer right hip and the outer right thigh. So your spine is going diagonally toward the long end of your mat, past the right bottom corner somewhere. As you roll the chest open, gaze left. Take your leg across your body, any amount that is comfortable, a little bit or a lot. Feel the spinning in your torso organs. Feel the reaching and pulsing away of your coccyx. And as the organs of the top chest on the left side seem to be, because they are spinning within their thoracic home, as that happens, allow the external fascia and muscles to also breathe. There'll be a little bit of a tug on them, that's fine. No sharp pain, no hard pull. A little bit of a tug, and the tug itself breathes, it condenses and expands. And if you're pulling on it, it will be stuck, it can't breathe. The fascia will say, nope, we're not letting go. But if you let it breathe and it needs a little more range, it will find it. All right, and then when you feel ready, you simply collect it back, all the way back. Lengthen your spine again so that you feel a little bit traction and rest. You can take your hands to your belly if you like. See how the deep mud of your belly is doing. See if maybe you've been able to release some of the contraction that we tend to accumulate in our navel region. So let everything be soft, maybe even a light massage. And I'm not talking about pushing at all. I'm talking about just a little moving across. If you roll your hips and your thorax, you can roll those tissues down and around in the back wall. You feel that? Back wall of the abdomen. That's good stuff. And then let's elongate through the one side organ body. Take your right foot from constructive rest, just take it out to the side and up just a little bit. And then as you're rolling on the outside of your left foot and the inside of your right foot, don't take your legs across like a windshield. However, do reach away from the deep body all the way through the center of that thigh. So you're not going down, down, down. You're staying kind of up and then pulsing this thigh and these organs through. So we're finding those exact same tissues that we were using in the beginning to yield into the earth and to give us that our substantiality, so that we're not rickety in balance. We feel our substantial earthiness. And here it is. Sometimes I call it your thick, the thick of you. All right, here we go. You come back. Oh, and you get to suck them back in and roll them around. Your organs, I mean. The feet come back to constructive rest, and then taking your left just up a little bit, and then rolling on the outside. Notice what I did with this other leg. My left came up a bit, and now I roll. You see that? I do that little trick, which I forget to mention. And then you roll on the outside of your right as you're rolling on the inside of your left. And then you're reaching away through that left side, not taking your legs down and stretching your quadricep. That's good for another time, but it's not what we're doing right now. What we're doing is finding the thick. It's organ thick. And in the leg, it's marrow and bone and meat, right? The thick. The reason that I don't want you to just stretch the quadricep here is that there's just so much beautiful richness in the torso here, where we get emotionally stuck for so many good reasons, but we don't want to hold that in our bodies forever, right? So we come up here and we get all this stuff to breathe and be seen, not to get rid of, but to be seen so that it can incorporate. And then what happens? Oh, the muscles are better. All right, let's bring it back up, draw it in, let it swoop in there. And back to constructive rest. Make yourself comfortable in constructive rest. And you may want to do one or more little things for this next minute. Take a minute to finish up any movement that you like before we take Shavasana. So perhaps you want to extend a leg up and just feel that, spread your toes again. Couple breaths. Maybe you want to take the other leg, extend it up, spread your toes again. Whatever. Supta Baddha Konasana. Rolling. And whenever it feels good, place your feet on the ground. If you would like to get some props to set yourself up for Shavasana, please do. Otherwise, for those of us for whom it is genuinely comfortable on the ground, you don't have to have props, you know, if you're comfortable. Comfort is the point. And then slide the other one out. At least comfort is the point to me. And open your arms and melt. Shavasana.